Hello and welcome everyone to another FPL Jedi Show stream. Today we are going to talk another Gameweek Team draft. But before that, I would like to welcome my co-host definitely Azmin to the stream. How are you? It's been a while.
It has been a while. And yeah, I'm just looking around, reading team news, but I haven't really constructed a team fully. But yeah, I think in this following week, it's going to be really, really busy.
Yep. To be frank, it's gonna be like 7 days more, to go before the first kickoff. And if I'm not mistaken, tomorrow will be the charity or the community shield match. So that will be interesting because we're gonna have first hand in terms of Man City and Arsenal lineup. So I think that will be interesting. So man, so we have a special guest today. Okay,
Yes, we do.
which is we invite FPL Zhou or Joe to the stream. He's actually a Malaysian competitor like us. Okay, so we are delighted to have him in and walk through his team. Maybe who since you mentioned that you might not be ready in terms of Game Week 1, we can take some advice or tips from him, right?
Oh yes. Well, FPL Zhou has been in the game quite a long time. Surprisingly, probably as long as me, but he's definitely done far better.
Yeah.
And yeah, and he's been active in Twitter for a long time, and he's built a community around him as well. So yeah, it'd be great to have him.
All right, let's get him in. Hello, Joe. How are you?
Hey, hi, Hafiz, hi, Asmin. Yeah, good to be here. Good to be here. Thanks for having me.
All right. Okay. We are actually honored to have you here, and as we mentioned before, we live. We definitely want to run through your Game Week Team draft so far,
Mm, mm,
especially the recent news regards to Gabriel Jesus injury that Mika
mm.
Arteta did mention. That he'll be out for a few weeks definitely because of
Yep,
his knee injury, and he
yep.
had a small procedure to that. So
Mm.
that news would definitely break the current template. What do you think, Joe?
Definitely, because first thing, he is quite highly owned. But personally, I admit none of my draft have him, so a
Okay,
bit lucky lah to
okay,
escape. But I think it will definitely shake up the template because he is one of the more highly owned striker in the league, in FPL at least, because firstly he is quite good price, 8 million. And another thing is because he plays for Arsenal, and Arsenal has very good fixtures at the start. So yeah, it's a shame he get that injury that requires a small surgery, but we wish him all the best. And yeah, so now the template is a bit disrupted, and people are starting to look at the likes of Martinelli, yeah,
okay,
or even Trossard.
yeah,
So
Yeah.
people are starting to get more creative now, and even uh, Nketiah,
okay.
5.5 million. Yep. So I think definitely it's. I mean, I wouldn't say it's a good thing. Not tak baik kan. But for FPL is it force people to think lah. Force
Yeah,
people to think.
and I guess with the community shield coming up, that really it'll give us
Hmm.
a really good idea of what's
Yep.
going to happen there. Um, we all saw Martinelli burst into flames last
Hmm.
season. Yeah, and as a result, he's much highly demanded. But halfway through, Trossard's come in, and
Yep.
how Arteta shapes that lineup will be interesting to
Mm-hmm.
see. And at the same time, we've all still got Odegaard in the middle there, who's pulling the strings
Mm-hmm.
and scoring
Yep.
goals and
Yep.
contributing. And to be fair, in my opinion, I thought his price would become higher than it is. So it's still very much affordable.
Yeah, I mean one trend I noticed ever since the announcement of the injury is that the formation trend start to change. We did see quite a number of 3-4-3. So now people tend to go to 3-5-2 or even 4-4-2, or
That's for
some
Jesus.
adventurous ones they go for 4-5-1.
Yep,
So
makes
definitely
sense.
the options up front are definitely limited now.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, good to hear that. But before we go to the next chapter, we would like to welcome Rakan FPL and Mr. Shaf to the stream. And they already started to post questions as we go along, Joe. We
Yep.
might actually post this during our conversation. Let's jump straight first to show your season history playing FPL. You've been playing for the past 15 years since 2008 and 2009 season. So definitely you have very much vast experience in FPL, most definitely. And from your Twitter that we actually snapped this, finish in top 40k in 7 of the last 8 seasons. How consistent you have been in the past 8 seasons so far. You actually had 2 top 10k finish and 6 top 50k finish, of which you can see on the right side. The best finish you have in 2019 and 2020 finish at 6,473 placing. So what you can say, Joe, you've been performing for the past 40k. What's your secret?
Secret. Not a secret lah. I do my team reveal every week before the deadline on Twitter. So and I usually post my thought process as well. Why I choose this player, why I choose that player. But to be honest, I really get into Twitter actively starting 2018, 2019. So previously, I usually just play with my friends on mini league. I pun tak tahu pun ada overall rank ini.
Okay, fair.
So
Yeah.
so I just play with them, and then they quite competitive lah. They're quite competitive. So I also never realized my overall ranking is like this. And then 2017, 2018, a bit that one a bit odd lah, because I actually went to further my study. So
Okay.
I set up the team, then I didn't play anymore. But I usually what I do is I I'm not really a data guy. Maybe I am a bit, but not mostly. I usually use eye tests. I watch highlights. I I use that, and then to make my decision, and then after I just use a bit of data to back that up lah.
Okay, so for Joe, he's more to eye test the manager. So it's more conventional. Other comparing for current managers who are actually really looking on data.
Well, these days, because nowadays there's so much data out there, and
Yep.
the way to interpret it, there's so many ways to interpret it. Because there's also
Exactly.
a lot of factors that you need to take into
Mhm.
account. So anyway, I just want to do a little push for FPL Zhou. So we do have his Twitter there, so do follow him on Twitter, because for one of the things he does, he has a thread. He maintains a thread for his teams, as he mentions, the team reveal that he does. So it's all maintained in one thread. So which is a really nice way of organizing, and you can actually see how he does it. And we do appreciate. I as a follower, I've been following him for the past 2 years, and the thought process is something he articulates quite well. And clearly I don't necessarily follow it, but it's definitely a way to play FPL. And one thing I realized about you, Zhou, is that you don't really panic buy. You're quite calm.
Hey, I do. Sometimes I mean a few seasons ago there are times I tak boleh tidur kan. So I said,
Ah.
cannot lah, this guy I takut he price rise lah. Buy lah. Then only I can
So
sleep. But
also one thing I want to point out is that because remember the 2021 following on the 2020-21, but even the 21-22 season was also quite turbulent in terms of fixtures, in terms of delays, and yet there you go, you've somehow ended up at the top 10k finish, which is incredible.
thanks.
So just to give a shout out from Hafiz Afos, who actually said FPL Zhou legend. So definitely you have a really fan out there. Okay, Zhou. So you need to really keep up your record right now.
You tension.
No pressure, Joe.
Okay. I think people are eager to see your team, your Gameweek 1 team draft. So let's jump to that. Okay, so this is your. Okay, sorry. Let me share back. I have to use this format. Okay. So maybe Joe, for a start, just walk through your team a bit,
Yep.
your lineup. Yeah.
Okay, so I ended up on a 4-4-2. I think about 1 or 2 weeks. I think 2 weeks ago, because I see, because as you can see, I think the main. I mean, if you look at the trend on, especially on Twitter right now, not many, unfortunately, not many own Mohamed Salah.
Yeah.
So, and because of that, they can spread the funds, because Mohamed Salah is the most expensive midfielder in the game. So they are able to spread the funds pretty evenly across the whole team, and they tend to go for, I would say, 3-4-3, because they are able to spend on more expensive midfield. But because I don't know, maybe like what Hafiz said, conventional eye test, I still feel Salah still has got it in him. I mean,
Yeah.
I would.
If I may mention, Joe, as you know, right, for the past season, the number one player that will be on our team sheet is Mo Salah, and this year it will be
Yeah,
different.
yeah. I think partly because his first game is against Chelsea, whereas previously we get Liverpool's first game against promoted teams. So people are more skeptical, and because there are a lot of other enticing midfielders which are cheaper in price, and they can spread those funds. But I don't know. I think because I'm a sort of like you say, I'm more conventional. I also use logic. I feel that, and then gut feel, definitely gut feel. Um, Salah, he still got it in him. He's still super fit. He's still he has no signs of any slowing down. There are people saying, oh, his position is very wide on the right side. But he has always been almost always been like this, and still he delivers week in,
Yeah.
week out, season in, season out. But more so because if you start with a more expensive midfielder, let's say really Salah, you see, ayah, tak boleh lah ni, memang decision yang salah.
Okay.
So
Fair.
you can downgrade him anytime. You can
Okay.
go to maybe someone like Rashford. You can even go to players like De Bruyne, because nobody else probably can afford De Bruyne maybe by game week 2 or 3. So that would be an interesting one. So yeah, so for me, I start with Salah also because of a tactical point of view. But the problem is, by having Salah, your team is a bit imbalanced. So if you look, why I go for 4-4-2, because I can afford the defenders I want rather
Okay.
than affording the midfielders or strikers that I want.
Okay. Fair.
So which is one of the reasons why I don't have Jesus in my team or in
Okay.
my drafts, because all my drafts I have Salah.
Uh,
So yeah, so I go 4-4-2, because of one of the reasons, because of
so,
this.
so basically,
And
you have two premium there, Haaland and Salah, and the rest you go a bit mid range. Okay.
yep, yep.
Uh, okay. So I
So
think that's your strategy going 4-4-2.
Yeah, your first 11 looks pretty balanced anyway, because obviously the your reserves are players you seriously don't expect to come in or play. But because when I look at your defense, you got Chilwell, Stones, Gabriel, and Estupinian. Those are all quality FPL players from
mhm,
previous seasons. So it's really great and
yep,
solid there. And you've got Mbuemo in, and who's thankfully been transferred back into a midfielder.
yeah,
But
yeah,
at the
yeah.
same time, you've still got Bruno Fernandes in, which he is, although he's
Mhm.
not as expensive as last season, but he's still affordable.
Yeah,
Okay.
another thing about this team is, uh, I think with Kunku out as well. So
Is he
maybe I don't
really
know.
out? Is he really out?
Is he?
Uh, Pochettino says he's out, but
Okay.
still
All right.
still having the still end with the sentence we will see. So
Okay.
so
Right.
yeah, I guess we will see. But I think let's say if Kunku is really out for at least maybe 1 or 2 weeks, or at least 2 to 3 weeks, I would think Jackson takes a penalty. I don't know. I'm not a Chelsea fan, but of course, as a Jackson owner, I hope so. But
Chelsea fan out
Chelsea
there.
fan, Chelsea fan.
Let's ask
I'm
him.
lucky
So,
today.
you can see that his draft, I mean, he has 2 Chelsea players, and I might not have both of them, right?
So who's fan? I'm the fan lah. But
Okay. Mhm.
yeah,
Right. Joe, maybe we just break it up a bit, going
Yep.
by unit to unit. So we go for goalkeeper department first. You opted Onana and Aroloa. Means that Onana 5 million goalkeeper, and he's the most recent buy from Manchester United. Do you feel that is a set and forget pick? Onana 5 million. Most of people picking 4.5 million keeper.
Actually, that is you start with a very good and hard question because for me, Onana, I only had the funds for Onana because I actually initially had Kunku, and Kunku is 7.5. So I went to Jackson, which is 7, and then I suddenly feel, I got extra 0.5 cash. So what do I do? So initially, I actually have Flecken, but Flecken, I don't know lah, doesn't look convincing.
Okay.
So far, concede already 9 goals in the preseason, but I believe because he's only going to be better. I think maybe due to confidence level, or maybe still not so I would say gel with the team or something. I don't know. Yeah, but in previous seasons before he came to Brentford, his stats were good. The team that he plays in terms of goals conceded, expected goals conceded, he actually prevented more. I mean, he prevented goals conceded for the other team. So I would think Flecken is still a good choice, but maybe owners would need to be a bit patient with him. Although yes, starting fixtures is quite good, but yeah, we never know. So that's what 4.5 million goalkeepers does, because we have quite a few choices, but to go with the right one from the start of the season is like jackpot lah.
Okay.
It's like jackpot. So which is why I went to Onana. Onana, I think Man United we know is a solid defensive team, and Onana is actually 10 Hag's man. So definitely, he would assimilate. Ten Hag would do his best to assimilate him into the team. But whether he's worth 5 million or not, I think only time will tell. Whether I will stick with Onana until the deadline, also I don't know, because he's still one of the positions that I'm 50-50. I personally prefer 4.5 million goalkeepers, because I feel goalkeepers, they are in terms of points, they are the points or points potential, they are the least amongst all of the positions. So usually I don't really spend that much on goalkeeper. But yeah, so I currently stick to Onana, but I might downgrade to a 4.5 million, because I still feel having a 0.5 million in the bank at the start of the season is still a good practice. It's a good FPL practice.
All right, good. Anything you want to touch, Min?
Yeah, I guess it, because as you mentioned, it is Ten Hag's pick, and we've seen Ten Hag really work hard on that Manchester United squad. So I can see some, the FPL points will definitely soar in. But I guess it's a question of how comfortable you are with that Manchester United backline. I feel we're much more comfortable than we were last season, I think. Even at the start of last season, So it's you definitely see some improvements, and I do think it's a good pick and worth the extra 0.5 million investment.
But anyway, I just want to touch in terms of ownership. Actually, Joe picked the first and second most owned goalkeeper as so far. which is Aurelia
Second.
and also
Oh,
Onana
Ariola.
in terms of ownership. So that's
Oh,
why
okay.
I think maybe that's what the bandwagon right now. So maybe that's the one that we should think about. So
But
I think
yeah, just to add ownership, there is a good and a bad. When they perform, then it's good lah. But when they don't perform, then you can see a very quick drop in price, which is why we're having 0.5 million is in the bank is good, because whenever there's a
Okay.
price change, you can still
Yeah.
afford
Yeah.
the players that you want.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we have to see about that.
I think that can be another good strategy of keeping 0.5 million in the bank, because currently you do not have any
Yeah,
money in the
kosong.
bank, right? Yeah, from this.
Kosong.
Okay.
Zero.
Let's jump straight to your defender lineup. We're going for 4 defenders. Obviously, we can see they all are really reasonable mid-price. There's no TA in there because, as you mentioned, you're already fitting Salah into the team. So definitely you can still fit in TA, but you really need to make another sacrifice in midfield. I suppose downgrade Bruno to some other 6.5, 5.5 million. But do you feel, if let's say people are going this formation, these are the top 4 defenders that we should get? Is Tupunan 5 million, Chilwell 5.5 million, Stones 5.5 million, and Gabriel 5 million?
I would think these are the top choices right now. Stones, maybe you can argue Stones against Luke Shaw, but I would think Estupinan, Chilwell, and Gabriel are probably the more popular picks. Yeah, at the moment. I mean, Estupinan, I don't think we need to talk more. His ownership is like 50%.
Yep.
But Gabriel is also mostly due to Arsenal's good fixture. Arsenal good opening fixture. Chilwell, we know his potential. He loves to bomb that flank, and from the preseason games we can see so far, he's fit. He's definitely fit. And he is one of Pochettino's main men. And he looks good when he attacks. And Chelsea has really good fixtures after game week 3. So he is definitely one of the more popular picks at the moment. For me, Stones, I'm still also 50-50, because there are rumors of him having a slight hamstring problem. But we will see. Because we know he's injury prone. But the thing is, Stones, he is playing a new role under Pep
Yes.
for the Man
Midfield,
City team, almost like a DM, keep going forward, pulling those strings, putting those passes forward. So very exciting player to own, but we know his injury record is not really good, and I guess we can only know during the Community Shield. So
Yes.
if he is not in the Community Shield,
Yeah.
I'll probably jump.
Yeah. I
There's
think
also
definitely.
there's also the Pep rotation risk that we always just have to contend with and see how it goes.
Yeah, for me, Stones, I would say he is for at least for this season, based on what we see in Pep's lineup. I think if Stones is fit, he plays.
Okay.
But the thing is, if he's fit, that one is a big question mark. Yeah.
Okay, so can I rank them based on your summary just now? Estupinan number 1, Gabriel number 2, Chilwell number 3, and Stones number 4 in terms of rank? Would you say
Maybe
that?
number 4, I would say at the moment, because of the rumor, maybe number 4 I'll put Luke Shaw.
Oh,
Okay. Instead of Stones. Okay.
okay, all right. So anything to add, man?
No, I think it's pretty solid. Chilwell, yes. Because he also has had his injuries in the past, but provided he stays fit, he can be a really blast, and I think he could really thrive under Pochettino. So I totally agree with Joe there.
All right, okay. Just as we go there, we just pop up defender questions. If let's say we need to pick Stones over or Chilwell, which one would you go first, Joe?
If you ask me to pick, I would go for Chilwell first. Like I mentioned, Stones still question mark on his because of the rumors. I mean, if there's no story, there's no rumors lah. So could be true.
Yeah.
So we just have to see in the Community Shield.
All right. Let's go to the midfield department, of which we have Bruno Fernandes, Mbomo, Salah, and Saka. So we have each representative from different team: Manchester United, Brentford, Liverpool, and Arsenal. And also we go first to Bruno Fernandes because there is a question mentioned. There is no Rashford, and you go for Bruno. So what your comment on that?
I go for Bruno because I think first he is a 90-minute man. Maybe even more minute, who knows? Because now we have a new rule that they're gonna add tambah minute like the World Cup.
Oh, okay.
So if let's say they tambah minute until I don't know 100-minute example lah, I think Bruno will play all the 100 minutes. So he is, and then he's a captain now.
Yes.
So in terms of being nailed, I don't think you can get any more nailed than Bruno Fernandes in the Man City team. Man United team. So and I don't know, with addition of Mason Mount, will Fernandes be playing like how he played when the first season? I remember when he first came to Man United on that first game against Wolves, I bought him.
Oh, you did.
I actually have him. Yeah, I jumped right in. So and that season he go crazy.
He was on fire.
He is trigger happy. He like macam orang gila tengok goal dia, he shoot. I remember he just like to tembak lah. So will he be back like that? I don't know. I definitely hope so, because as you can see over the past maybe 1 or 2 seasons, he becomes more like a creative midfield rather than a shooting guy. So will Mason Mount actually help him, push him more forward? I don't know. I hope so. But he should be on penalties. Yep, he should be on penalties. So for me, and sometimes penalties can be last minute one. I remember there's a game against Brighton. The whistle blow already, but then can take penalty and score. Bruno Fernandes.
Yeah, that was insane.
That was funny. So yeah. So I think over Rashford, I don't deny Rashford is a good choice, but
the more popular choice, right?
Yeah, the Rashford, he's 9 million, more expensive. Whether I can afford, that's another question. But I don't think he is a 90-minute man like Bruno. And he do have his injury record here and there. And how will he play when Højlund comes in? I don't know.
Okay, I think interesting reasoning. I mean, I'm actually getting to convince me. Joe already convinced me, but if I say you need to pick one of the Manchester United midfielder, Bruno could be the answer, and he's cheaper, man. What do you think?
Yeah. Because he's definitely more access. His price access point is much more better now. But because I have more funds, because at the moment I don't have Salah. So there's definitely a lot more options there for me.
Okay, all right. Let's go to Mbomo pick, because there's question that at same price point, why Mbomo over Mitoma? Because you do not have that Mitoma pick somewhere there. You pick 6.5 million Mbomo over Mitoma. Your reason?
Because I actually had Mitoma for quite like maybe 1 week or 2 weeks. Why I changed to Mbomo? Because I feel Mbomo is more nailed, because I think the Zerbi mentioned that since they are going to be in Europe this coming season, and I think he mentioned some specifically like everybody will play, something like that. So I would assume that there will be rotations going on to protect the players. And if you look at the midfield, my God, Brighton, so many talented midfielders. And even some
I can
you
mention some of the name lah, definitely.
yeah, even some you tak pernah dengar one. Suddenly out of nowhere pre-season score 2 goal. Adringa. I was like, who's that?
Yeah.
So I mean, for me, Mbomo is more nailed is one thing, and he, in the absence of Tony, he's the one who takes the penalties. And I would say he's also playing almost out of position, almost like a striker role, which is probably more appealing than Mitoma. But Mitoma, I'm not to say anything bad about him. He's a great choice. For me, I mean, this is just my personal thought process. But Mitoma, he is a great choice. He in preseason he also did well. As usual, he bombs the left side, cuts in, whether to cross or to shoot. He always gets into that very dangerous position. For me, he's still a really good choice. If I were to let's say if I were to downgrade Stones and to go for a fifth midfielder, I will go for Mitoma.
Okay, all right, understand me. You already talked a lot about Salah just now, and Sakapi is definitely, I think, this is a no-brainer in terms of ownership. He is the most owned in terms of midfielder, 55%, which is more than Estupinan.
Saka.
And when we talk about Arsenal midfielder, I think that's the people we go in terms of pricing. He's actually same price as Odegaard. And Martinelli 8 million, slightly lower, but Saka is the penalty taker and the mainstay for Arsenal players. So I think Saka is definitely in everyone team. Azmin, what do you think?
Yeah. But I still have flashbacks to the explosive Martinelli from last season. Remember at the start, he was definitely more consistent than Saka, and Saka was really just plodding along. So I don't know. It's a big question there. But yeah, Saka is the clear favorite at the moment, though. So.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if let's say if I decided to not own Salah and to spread my funds, definitely Martinelli is one of my strong considerations.
Yeah, I can see because you still have another slot.
Since you mentioned that
Arsenal player, right?
So there was a question I saw on if you don't have Salah, if you choose not to go for Salah, who's the best Liverpool midfielder to go for? Is there one? Is there an answer to that?
I mean, I do see the question. The question is which other Liverpool attacker to go for. I would say, I mean, it's a bit tricky. It's a bit tricky because you look at Jota, you look at Darwin, you look at Diaz, you look at Gakpo. Who can you really be certain going to start every week? I
only
don't think...
Azmin can know because he's the Liverpool fan, so he definitely can tell better than me.
Yeah, definitely. Let's hear from a Liverpool fan.
I'm more confident on Gakpo. I feel that his position is a bit more secure. But at the same time, we've seen some tinkering. At first we saw Darwin having a great preseason. Yeah, but the last game against Bayern Munich, Darwin didn't start.
Yes,
so
didn't start.
It was Jota instead. So yeah, if you go for risk, relatively low risk, then if he doesn't start, then Gakpo. But for high risk, high potential, it'll be Darwin. Yeah, I feel that Darwin in his second season, I think he's going to be able to push on. Yeah, but again, it's a risk.
Yeah, I mean, I like Darwin as a player. I do hope he can really, crack it on and get it going. I do own him last season, I think for a few game weeks. Was a bit frustrating.
Azmin owned Darwin on the first week of the season last year, right?
I did. Yes, I did. Only for him to get sent off in the second game.
Yeah, I own Darwin when Liverpool win United the 7-0 one. But then I was like, shocked, happy lah, But then after that, gone.
Patut
1
jump
point,
in.
0 point, 1 point, 0 point only.
Yeah.
So, but I think if Darwin is regular, he would definitely probably be in even better
Okay.
pick than Salah, to be honest.
Okay.
To finish off that question, on the West midfield best attacker for Liverpool, my answer would be Trent
Trent.
Alexander-Arnold.
Yeah, mine too.
Okay. All right. Let's go to forward lineup. Most definitely, because you're already funding Salah, Haaland, you will definitely partner Haaland with Jackson. Another interesting pick at 7 million. And there's question about this comparing whether Wisa or Jackson. Is Wisa someone that you're actually eyeing, Joe?
I actually, if I don't have Mbomo, I looked at Wisa. I think Wisa at 6 million, and with Tony out, he is a good value player. I mean, a good player for his value, 6 million. He does go into good attacking positions and quite good stats. But yeah, like I said, if you really have to choose only one from Brentford, it'll be Mbomo. But if you can't afford Mbomo and you need those funds, I think Wisa is also a good pick, especially during the first few fixtures of the season. But overall, you need to understand it's a Brentford team. I feel overall Chelsea is a stronger team, definitely, and under Pochettino it looks more exciting. And I think with Kunku out, Jackson should be the main man.
Okay.
To lead the attack. So I still feel if you can afford the 1 million, I think probably Jackson is still the one to go for.
All right. Pretty much. Min, do you want to say anything?
I have one question for you, Joe.
Yes.
Have you ever, since FPL launched again, did you ever consider not captaining Haaland?
For me, to be honest, no.
Okay.
But game week two will be quite a dilemma for me because Salah is a really, really strong contender for game week 2 as they play against Brentford at home.
I suppose if let's say you have Salah in your team, the reasonable thing to do is captaining Salah in game week 2. If not, what's the point?
Yeah, definitely. So my tentative plan is to definitely captain Salah in game week 2. But yeah, I guess that's one of the advantage having Salah. Then after that we see how it goes from there.
Yep. I think I agree. Okay, pretty much in terms of sub, you really go cheap. In terms 4 million goalkeeper, and Kamba 4.5 million midfielder. If you're going for this formation, definitely you need some cover, and Kamba should be the mainstay of Luton Town midfielder. Umbama 4.5 million, right? Another one for is it Aston Villa or Burnley? Burnley, is it?
No, for West Ham.
West Ham, sorry. Okay. And Baldock at 4 million. Just touch a bit about Baldock. People thinking about another 4 million defender like Bayer, Burnley, or Bell from Luton Town. What do you think in terms of 4 million defender? Which one, if let's say, people should go first?
Okay, why I go for Baldock? Because Luton Town and Burnley, they don't have a game week 2. So and Baldock, he is more attacking compared to Bayer and Bell. But actually, there's another player called I think Kabore that has just signed for Luton. He should play in the starting lineup, and he's a wing back. He's also 4 million. So
Okay.
if you between Bell and Kabore, if you want to go for a more attacking one, then it's Kabore. But why I put Baldock is because he has a game week 2, and you have some sense of sort of like a bench cover for game week 2. Yeah.
Yep.
Sorry, Hafiz, just to ask you as a Chelsea fan, what do you think of Jackson as a pick?
Yeah, I think in terms of early season pick, if you want to go for a Chelsea player, I think in terms of rank lah. Okay, from the preseason, yeah, I think Chilwell could be an interesting one because he really bombarded on the left side for Chelsea, and you can see that he really, whenever he got the opportunity, he would definitely shoot.
Yep.
For a goal, and he could be one of the takers in terms of corner and so on. That could be another potential thing. And at 5.5 million, you could ask no better than that. Other than that, people are going for Nkuku. Okay, 7.5 million. Maybe he's more well known to other players, but Jackson could be into the frame because in terms of option up front, who else? Lukaku will not be featuring. Other than still others, Broja maybe will coming into the team later, and Jackson should be playing the first, at least for the first 2-3 weeks for Chelsea lineup. So I feel he's a decent pick. Whether he got the penalty part is still unsure. Okay, but like you mentioned, if Nkuku out and Jackson could be the one to take it, he'll definitely really good price at 7 million.
Yeah, I mean, which is one of the reason. I mean, let's say if Nkuku is fit, okay, Pochettino say, okay, we have Nkuku back, fully fit. He's in the training, full team training before Gameweek 1. Would you go for Nkuku rather than Jackson?
Okay, if I have to pick now, yeah, people will definitely incline to Nkuku, but I will go Nkuku if I have a chance.
So I think which is why I also really want to downgrade Onana because I want to have that 0.5 in case suddenly Nkuku back on game week 2 or game week 3 when Chelsea fixtures become better.
I think if let's say our strategy can be, because to be fair, Chelsea is still not a finished product. We're still not sure how Pochettino going to line up. Liverpool and West Ham should be able to tell us what Chelsea lineup will be for the rest of the day, and game week 3 of which we really want to jump in on Chelsea asset. I think that's where we should focus on. Okay, I think that's all that we want to cover in terms of your team draft. But we go to some question. I mean, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here. So I was just looking at some of the questions. There's a question. Because I tuned out, I disconnected for a while just now. Chuku Meka 4.5, was that discussed just now?
No.
Chuku Meka 4.5 million, also a Chelsea striker, according to Harish.
I think he's definitely 4.5 million. I think he's in midfield, if I'm right.
Yeah, I think should be. Is he first choice striker?
He's in midfield. But to be frank, we're really not sure how the lineup will be, right? Definitely it's a risk. Anyone could play slot in there. Madsen, the new young kid, and Modric, somewhere there's Sterling. There's a lot of option there, right?
Yeah.
So
I'm just going to share in terms of a FPL tactic point of view. Yes, exciting player, 4.5 million. He might start because Kunku is out and he plays for Chelsea. But the thing is, if you have a 4.5 million player from Chelsea, then if you really want to, and then after that, let's say Kunku's back, and then this 4.5 million player, goes back to the bench, and you want more Chelsea players, you cannot bring in anymore because he blocks a Chelsea spot. So then what are you going to do? Are you going to use one free transfer just to move him out for another 4.5 million, which probably doesn't play and in your bench? So it's a bit wasteful for a free transfer. And let's say if he is indeed got benched by Pochettino and people start to sell him, owners start to sell it, and his price goes down to 4.4 million, and now you're stuck. You cannot afford anybody else. So it's a bit of a risky play. Same goes to players like Anderson for Newcastle. Yes, exciting player. Wow, score so many goals. And people start to buy him. Yes, I think the last time I see his ownership probably goes up to 3 or 4% already. But what if what if people start to realize, oh, he usually comes off for the bench in the games, and then start to sell him, and his price drop to 4.4 million, and then you are stuck because you cannot afford anybody else, and he also blocks a Newcastle spot. So in terms of FPL, for me, is quite risky.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think
It's a good point with that with regards to just because one player is injured, who's replacing, but how long can he last there, and
Yeah.
is he worth it? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think another interesting question, Joe, that we mentioned, best Jesus replacement since he'll be out. And we got 8 million spot. And if let's say people still stick to the current template, what's your suggestion?
Okay, I think I shared before. I think let's look at first. For me, is when he first got injured, then people will say, "Oh, Kunku." Then Kunku pula got injured, so now everybody took like Jackson. But for me, if you look at the price between 7 to 8, I think there are quite a few. There are still quite some options, exciting options. I think 7.5. There's Darwin.
Yeah, I agree.
Explosive, risky, but if he does pay off, you're gonna be flying.
Yeah.
Another one, if you look at 8 million, we have Watkins,
Yeah, I
we
agree.
have Wilson,
It's a
we have
Mitrovic,
7.5, we have Isak. Isak, I don't personally, I don't think Mitrovic will play for Fulham anymore. I don't know. He
you think?
did.
I think he's
He
a risk since Fulham already brought in Jimenez. I think that's
Yeah,
the one really feels
because
iffy.
I think also is a poor attitude by Mitrovic. He wanted badly to go to Saudi. Money talks. So but the club don't let they don't accept or whatever. Then he throw tantrum lah. He mengamuk ah. He
Okay.
say, oh, I don't want to play anymore. So I don't know whether have they resolve it or not. But I personally don't see him starting for Fulham. Isak and Wilson, yes, people are put off by the fixtures, but this is a new Newcastle team, and Wilson, just to throw the spanner out there, Wilson does like to start the season well, and although against these attacking teams, they might, because they are pretty good at counter attacking now under Eddie Howe, and Wilson, he's usually the ones with all the chances and all the big chances. So if Wilson is probably like a spicy pick, I would say. If I have 8 million, I will really consider Wilson.
Okay.
But if you want to be safe, then you can go for Watkins. Definitely
Alright.
safe on penalties, nailed, and he plays well under Unai Emery.
He does. Yeah, agree.
Okay. Just a quick one also. If let's say you already have Saka, you want to have another second midfielder of Arsenal, Odegaard or Martinelli, which one would you go, Joe?
I would go at the moment. I'll go for Martinelli.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
of the injury of Gabriel Jesus. Yeah.
Okay. Right. Fair. I mean, we already 50 minutes to be frank. We target like 30
I
minutes.
know.
How time flies, right? So I think we end here. All right. Thank you guys for joining. All right. And it's been a pleasure having you, Joe, into the stream. We just never know in future. You could actually join us again in our normal stream, of which we are having every midweek. Continue at Gameweek until and we definitely come back on the Gameweek 1 deadline stream will be on Friday night. But the most important thing is to watch tomorrow match Community Shield. We will have a better glance in terms of Man City and also Arsenal lineup. That's all. Yep. So y'all
So thank you very much, Joe, for joining us. We do appreciate it. It's been a great honor. It's been a pleasure having you, and all the best for the season.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Definitely, you can invite me again. I had a good time talking to you guys.
Excellent.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Hope to see you again. Bye bye.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.